Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another bookshelf scavenger hunt. Basically what a bookshelf scavenger hunt is, if you're not familiar, is I have a list of 10 prompts and those prompts are going to lead me all over my bookshelves. We're going to be picking up heaps of books. I'm going to be giving you some recommendations, and eventually when we get to the 10th prompt we're going to settle on a book that I haven't read before but that I am hopefully excited to read, and we're going to see out this video with a little bit of a reading vlog portion where I'm going to give you all my thoughts and feelings and live reactions to said book that we choose. I originally got the idea from Ellen Catherine here on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure she got the idea for hers from Riley Marie. I'm going to be using the same prompts that they have, and I'm also going to flash them up on the screen for you as well if you want to like follow along, do it yourself, maybe have a little at-home bookshelf scavenger hunt, because I think it's a really great way to kind of revisit all of the books that I have on my bookshelf. And yeah, I really hope all of that made sense, and we are going to dive straight into it. So here you can see I have my list of 10 prompts, and the first one says pick a book you gave 5 stars, then find another book you would recommend to people who liked that book. So I need to find a 5-star read. We could do A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I don't know that I have another recommendation for that book. We could do Icebreaker, but I did that in my last bookshelf scavenger hunt. We could do Midnight Kisses. We could do Quarterback Sneak by Candy Steiner. Quarterback Sneak was my favorite read of last year, so this one's definitely a top contender. We could also do Heartless by Elsie Silver. Could do The Graham Effect. I have so many options, oh my god. We could do A Fate Inked in Blood. I don't have a recommendation for that book whatsoever. I've seen another 5-star read which conveniently is very similar to Quarterback Sneak. So the book that I'm going to be choosing that is similar to Quarterback Sneak is going to be The Canary Cowards by Jessie Hall. Both of these books have a lot of commonalities. They are both physiotherapist and like professional athlete romances. They also both take place in the like college NFL and professional NFL. We also have a bit of a grumpy sunshine dynamic between the two of them and a little bit of a slow burn. So in my opinion, these books are very similar. Quarterback Sneak obviously is set in college, and we have Julep, who is a student physiotherapist who is just kind of like helping out with the college NFL team, and then we have Holden, who from memory has a knee injury, I believe, so he has to seek out a little bit of care from Julep, and their relationship is honestly just very cute, quite spicy, but like I love them. I think they're two of my favorite characters, and there's a lot of like emotional internal work that also happens in this book which I really enjoyed reading about. And then if you enjoyed Quarterback Sneak, I would recommend to you The Canary Cowards by Jessie Hall. Again, we have a professional physiotherapist this time. She is like the best in the biz, Dylan. And then we also have Lake, who is a professional NFL player, and he once again, I guess, hurt his knee. I think it was his knee anyway. And he goes to her because he's desperate to get back on the field. And she's like renowned for getting athletes back on the field faster than anyone else. And we also have that like next level, deeper level of like emotional connection as well. Yeah, if you enjoy Quarterback Sneak, I'd recommend you The Canary Cowards. Now for prompt number 2, we have to use The Canary Cowards and we will find another book from it. So prompt number 2 tells me to count the number of letters in the title, then pick a random spot on your bookshelf and count to that number book. We have 3, 6 and 8, which equals 17. Yeah, which equals 17. So we've got to choose somewhere random on my bookshelf. I think we're going to move to the dark romance shelf because I want to showcase her a little bit. So I reckon just to keep things interesting, we should choose something that's not similar to The Canary Cowards whatsoever. We have plenty to choose from. I think I'm going to go from the Devil of Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oh my god, 17, we have Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. So our 17th book from our random spot on the bookshelf gave us Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. So now, using the 3rd prompt, we are going to look at the cover and find another book with one of those elements in the cover. We have like bones and skulls, lots of birds, we have a chainsaw and like a butcher's knife, is that what that's called? And a silhouette of 2 people. We also actually, which could be the winning moment, we have this like city skyline sort of thing happening. I think that could be a really fun element to look into if I can't find anything else, because to be honest, I think birds and bones are going to be really difficult to find on my shelf. Maybe this one has a bird on it. That's a negative. The Simple Wild doesn't have a bird on it. That's so disappointing. We do have a plane though, if we're going to count like it as a winged animal. A winged creature. Actually, could we do that? Not a bird to an aeroplane, but same sort of vein. We could do 6 of crows because like birds. I think I want to run with my city skyline and like loose interpretation of a bird. And I think I'm gonna pick up Mile High by Liz Tomford. We have our bird. Don't ask me why I'm trying to make you believe that an airplane is a bird, but anyway. And we also have our city skyline. So we're going to pick this one up and we're going to look at our fourth prompt, which tells us to reverse the page number of your book and find another book with a page count closest to that number. How many pages do we have? We have 474 pages. 474. I think our best bet is going to be to like look at the thickness of books and see if I can find one that's close. Maybe we come up to Icebreaker. Oh, this one's gonna be way too short. What the hell? This one's 414. What about Bourbon and Lies? This is my current read, by the way. It's going okay. How many pages have we got? We have 427. Again, too short. We have Consider Me by Becca Mack. This one is 449 pages, which is kind of close. That's 25 pages off, I want to say. That's pretty good. Maybe we try Underlock. It's literal next door neighbor. Oh, oh, we have an epilogue. It might push it too far. Oh, we have in Underlock, we have 485 pages. So that's 11 pages longer. I might keep looking for another minute, but for right now, I think that's our best bet. What if we try Promises We're Meant to Keep? Oh, this one's gonna be too short. That's 408. Heartless. 433 pages, so once again too short. You know what, I think that's a little bit of like an awkward page number, so we're gonna go for Underlock by Mariana Zapata. I really enjoyed this book when I first read it. I'm not sure if I would still love it, but she was pretty good. We're gonna use her to get our fifth prompt, which is list some of the tropes in your book and find another book that shares one of these tropes. Underlock is sort of like a grumpy romance. We have a motorcycle romance as well. We have a workplace romance. I feel like that's kind of it. It's a little bit brother's best friend, but not really. We could go one of two ways right now. Recently, I finished reading Where We Started by Ashley Munoz. Absolutely loved it. It's a motorcycle romance. Or we could go for workplace romance. Taste by Melanie Harlow. Heartless by Elsie Silver. The Wool of Winnipeg and Me. We could do From Luca with Love. Oh, we could do The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. We could throw it back to my last scavenger hunt video. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that idea. I think I'm going to choose The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer because this is a workplace romance. Once again, it's a physiotherapist romance. I don't know why I have a thing for that trope, but anyway, this is a workplace romance between a hockey player and their physiotherapist, and we are going to be using her for our sixth prompt, which is to find a book that has the same color combination as your book. So I am going to be looking for purple books. We could do Midnight Kisses, but I feel like she's not quite the right purple. Sable Peak by Devney Perry. Once again, not quite the right purple though. We could do The Dixon Rule. That one has similar themes as well as like a similar purple, so maybe Playing to Win by Monica Murphy. Oh, I don't mind that one actually. I feel like The Dixon Rule and The Fake Out share more similarities, but Playing to Win is so obviously purple, so I feel like we maybe go with this one. Using Playing to Win for our seventh prompt, I am going to read the first sentence, pick any word in that sentence and find a book with that word in the title or pictured on the cover. Are we saying like the time period is the first sentence? It says New Year's Eve, or alternatively the first sentence is, ooh, who's that? I feel like we go with New Year's Eve because I think I have a good book for this. We have New Year's Day, which I feel like is perfect. Moving on to our eighth prompt, it tells me to turn to the acknowledgements and of the names listed, find a book written by an author with the same name. Or do we have acknowledgements? We might not have acknowledgements. Oh, I didn't even consider that. There's no acknowledgements. Like we have, this is the end of the book. This is the sneak peek. We have the sneak peek and then we have like the list of her books, more of her books. And then we have about the author. So maybe we backtrack and go for The Dixon Rule. Okay, pedaling all the way back, we chose The Fake Out. And then for a book with a similar color scheme, I'm gonna go for The Dixon Rule and hope that it leads us down a better path. Flipping to the first sentence. Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh, we have like a little layout of the apartments. I love that. The first sentence of this book says, 2 beads of water form at the top of my mirror and then slowly begin to race each other down to the bottom. We're working with mirrors. We're working with water. Water on its cover. We could do Southern Storms is like sort of watery, but I feel like it's more marble than water, I guess. Do Does It Hurt by H.C. Carlton, but I feel like this is a little bit more abstract. I mean, there's a ship that you can assume was in water or that is in water. but it looks like it's beached. I reckon we can do better than that. What about one of these three? We have a forest, we have water, and there's a reflection of a skyline in it, so we could imply that it's a mirror. I think I like the aspect of this one having the reflection in it because it's like a mirror, water. We're having some loose interpretations today. All right, I think I'm gonna go for Play With Me by Becca Mac. We have a like marina from the look of things, and we have like the reflection of the skyline, and the back even has the water as well. I think we're gonna go for it. So with Play With Me, I'm gonna be turning to the acknowledgements, and of the names listed, find a book written by an author with the same name. Okay, we have Hannah, Jerry, and Kai. So we're going Hannah Grace, Hannah Cohen. I wish I had a Kai Stevens book because that would have been fun. Liz, Zara, Jenny Garrett, Alana Paisley. I think I'm gonna go for Hannah, and I think I'm gonna go for Hannah Grace because how can I not? I love her books. I'm gonna go for the OG, and we're gonna pick up Icebreaker, and we are gonna be using her for our 9th prompt, which is to look at the cover and find a book that has a similar looking cover. I feel like this should be very easy because it's a cartoon cover. Just about every book has cartoon covers these days, so maybe if we try and like find some hockey elements. I really wish I had the new covers of the Off-Campus series because I feel like that would gel really, really well. Ooh, okay. I might have just cracked the code. You're kidding. That's like the same thing. Okay, hello Collide by Bel Cabra. I'm very, very happy with that result actually. And now using Collide by Bel Cabra, so excited to read this one, but unfortunately it's not gonna be today. We're gonna be doing my 10th prompt, which is to add your birthday, month, and date together. Turn to that page and read until you find a book with that word in the title. This is your final book. Okay, so my birthday is the 19th. My birth month is the 3rd. So we're gonna be going 19 plus 3, which is 22. Page number 22. And now we're gonna read until we find a word that can correspond to one of these titles. What's some words that can work in titles? We have girl. If I hadn't read it already, we could have gone for The Good Girl by Nikki Sloan. Challenge. I don't think I have anything with challenge. We are now on to page 23 because I cannot find a word just yet. Okay, let me read you the sentence. Coach's threat to put me on probation didn't scare me enough to go ahead with that damn brain experiment. So now he's ruining everyone's lives. Can we count that? Ruining? As in Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin? Are we counting that? I think we're gonna do it because I can't find another word on either of these 2 pages which corresponds to a title on my bookshelves. So with that, we at least are gonna have a good answer this time. I'm gonna be picking up Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. How do I even begin to describe this book? This is a historical pirate romance, I want to say. It's a little bit of a love triangle. That's about all I know about it. I know Bennett, our heroine, is like potentially looking for some treasure, but I think she gets captured at some point by like this 3rd individual. I'm a tiny bit scared of this book because I know it's dark romance and I know there's some like consensual non-consent, and that doesn't make me the most comfy. I think I'm gonna settle on this one. I mean, I kind of have to because that's the prompt, but yeah, we're gonna choose Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin, and I am very, very excited and a little bit nervous to finally be jumping into this one. Good morning, everybody. Believe it or not, it's a couple of days later. I am in the same shirt, the same exact outfit actually, but I've been reading Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin, about 29% in, which translates to chapter 16, page 135. I did buy it on Kindle because, listen, if I can read it on Kindle, if I can read it in an ebook, I've been changed. I'm a changed woman. I'm gonna read it on ebook. I love this book so far. I wasn't anticipating, well, I knew that I would be like consumed with the atmosphere and the like environment of the story because it's about pirates. It's a pirate book, right? So like think Pirates of the Caribbean, all those kind of settings. It's just so freaking cool. Quite like Bennett as well because she's just a bit of like a badass like female pirate captain lady. There's essentially like a prologue in the book. It's not like titled a prologue, but it's the first few chapters of the book. Her mother had her out of wedlock to a notorious pirate, the like most notorious pirate on the seas, and her mother is like of British nobility, and when this happened, when she fell pregnant, when that was discovered, she was sent out to live with like a really extended family in America, and obviously that's where Bennett was born and raised, and her mother sort of like resents her because indirectly Bennett was the reason that she was like kicked out of home, kicked out of her country, you know, lost her dowry. But in like literally the first chapter, Bennett's mum is trying to like buy her way back into England by selling off Bennett to this like wealthy British socialite. man. He's like a little bit powerful or whatever. And Bennett naturally is outraged, but she's like, whatever, I'm gonna do it to make my mother happy. You know, I've been a brat to her, I owe her this. So she sort of like agrees. She's a bit solemn about it. She's not happy about it. If it buys us back into our country, fine. However, while Bennett is sort of like feeling sorry for herself, she's gazing out the window. Some hounds come bounding over, and she's learned that the arrival of these hounds signal that her father is in the area, and these hounds are trained to like come and collect Bennett and take her to go visit her father. So Bennett follows these hounds, goes and visits her dad. Some things happen, some shit goes down. I don't want to spoil it for you in case you want to read this book, because I had no idea what was happening when I was going into it. But basically the entire purpose of that prologue is to introduce you to Bennett's father and to see him gift her a compass, and when she's old enough he is going to gift her his ship. We then fast forward to Bennett being, I think, about 21. She's now the captain of the ship. She's got her like quartermaster. I'm learning all the terms because that's one thing about Sea of Ruin actually. It's written in modern English, you know, but there's words thrown in that are like reflective of old English, if that makes sense. And it's like the words that they would use at the time for whatever this thing is. So it's actually really, really fun to read. I'm really enjoying the writing style. It's not like too pompous and prestigious and foreign to me that I'm not enjoying. Like I can still understand what's happening, but I have been having to use the dictionary feature on the Kindle quite a bit. But I'm really enjoying it. It definitely adds to the atmosphere of the book because it makes it feel a little bit more authentic, a little bit less cringy, I suppose. Yeah, we fast forward to Bennett being 21. She's now the captain. Her original quartermaster has just been hanged, and her and her crew were like hunting him down to try and rescue him, but they arrive a little bit too late and find that he's been hanged. At this point I'm pretty sure they're in Jamaica, and they're all just kind of like, you know, we're already on land, may as well take advantage of a couple of pubs, a couple of taverns, you know, have a little bit of fun. And Bennett is fully on board with this, and she goes to join them. And who does she run into but her husband? Now, her husband, what's his name? I'm completely blanking on his name. I can remember the Commodore's name. His name? Priest, that's what it is. Priest, her husband, they are still like legally married, I guess, but Priest cheated on her 2 years ago, like committed the ultimate betrayal. They were gallivanting about the seas and pulled into harbour one night, and Miss Ma'am, Priest, went off and decided to cheat on her with a mistress, and Bennett found out and kicked his sorry ass to the curb, as she should. But yeah, she hasn't seen him in 2 years, and there's still a lot of like unrequited feelings there. Now, one thing you need to know about Priest Farrell is that they call him like the king of libertines. He is once again a very notorious pirate because of course he is, and he basically just takes what he pleases. He's very sneaky, very manipulative, but very cunning, and he sneaks up on Bennett in this tavern and swindles her father's compass straight out of her pocket and basically buys his way back onto her ship because he's like, I still love you so much, I can't live without you, can't breathe without you, I'm gonna steal your compass and hide it on board so you're forced to keep me on the ship because you can't find it, sort of thing. And yeah, I have heard that this book is a love triangle, but I don't like Priest whatsoever. So I'm like, I don't know if he's been, because he was introduced in the like normal way that a love interest is introduced, like they're painted to be this really hot person, but then we find out about his personality and what he's done, and I'm like, I actually despise you, I don't know that you're redeemable, hello. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to be redeemed for me. I'm also not sure if he's like the end game love interest, because we have just read up to meeting the Commodore, who I'm pretty sure is the second love interest in this book, and he's introduced as a love interest, so I'm gonna roll with it. He is a pirate hunter, and he and his like 100 cannon ship roll up on Bennett and her 50 cannon ship and are like, surrender, I know who you are, Bennett Sharp, I'm here to arrest you, there's a bounty on your head, kind of thing. And okay, no, there was this one scene, there was this one line where they were like eyeing each other up, like sizing each other up through like telescopes, eyeglasses, and all I could picture was this. Because the Commodore like pulled up, got his telescope out or whatever, and then all I could picture was Bennett just like pulling out this massive telescope and like eyeing him up. Anyway, I thought that was funny. We also have a lot of like external stuff going on that is helping to really set the scene and like set the atmosphere of the story as well. Like Bennett's crew is essentially a bunch of misfits who love her, so they're like willing to stay around. Oh, and the compass, by the way, her father told her it leads to like bountiful treasure or something, and she's been trying to crack the code for years, can't crack the code. she told Priest all about it. He's the only other person that knows about this compass, so that's why he took it. Yeah, she can't crack the code. She's really frustrated about it, but she believes that it's gonna like lead her to something that her father left for her, so she's determined to figure it out. This compass is like the last piece of him that she has. But yeah, I honestly think Pam just does such a fantastic job setting the scene of this book and the tone, and it's not as dark as I thought it was gonna be. Granted, I'm only 29% in. There is definitely some like darker themes and some darker undertones, and I still would recommend checking trigger warnings if you're thinking about reading this book. We have a pretty cool cast of characters. We have Bennett, obviously, who's the captain. Then we have her second in command, her quartermaster. Don't really know what that term means, but that's what he's called, who is Reynolds. And then we've also got like a surgeon on the ship who's this really grumpy old man, and we've also got like Bennett's third-hand man, I guess, and he's really cool as well. He's a bit more of a like soft, sensitive kind of guy, which adds like a very nice contrast to the story. Oh, also Priest is being held like in the bottom, in the hull of the ship, like he's chained up in an attempt to make him like give up the location of the compass on the ship, and then she's gonna boot his ass off overboard. So pleased to say I'm really enjoying this book. It's making me wish there was more books like it, like this one. It's set in pirate times, and then like a Fate Inked in Blood set in the Viking times. Like it just, I think I might be about to enter like a historical phase or something, but I also don't want to burn myself out on historical settings because it's like so new to me and so just like cool, and I don't want to like overindulge in them so that they lose that spark. I don't want to jump the gun too much, but if I'm being perfectly honest, I could really foresee this book being a 5-star. Absolutely loving it. If Pam Godwin keeps up this like momentum that's currently happening and like spectacle of it, I guess, and like the scenery and the environment, and if she keeps that up, could definitely be a 5-star. I finished Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. So basically as soon as I gave that last update, everything got 10 times darker. I would like to revoke my statement that it wasn't as dark as I was expecting, because it absolutely was. We did indeed encounter that non-con scene, which I was a little bit nervous about, and if you don't know what non-con is, it basically just means like no consent. It didn't bother me quite as much as I was expecting. It was still bothersome, but it didn't bother me quite as much as some other non-con scenes that I've read, but definitely still something to watch out for. Definitely still very triggering. Overall, I really actually enjoyed this book, and I really liked the pacing. I can't remember if I said on my last update, but I was a little bit concerned, a little bit worried that we were gonna spend like the majority of the book just holed up in the Commodore's quarters with Bennett, but I'm pleased to say there was some variety. We did get some like ship life. We did indeed get some ship-to-ship combat. That was honestly some of my favorite parts of this book, was like the ship fight scenes and like the boardings, and just like that was really cool. That was very fun to read about. Sort of circling back to the non-con, there is a moment in this book where Bennett is taken by the Commodores higher up. The Admiral, to put it lightly, is a piece of shit. He is not a very nice guy whatsoever, and there is some sexual assault in this book, and it's quite triggering if I do say so myself, so just be warned about that. Throughout the majority of Sea of Ruin, Bennett's plan is essentially to have Priest hunt her down on HMS Blitz, which is the Commodore's ship. So we also spend like a good portion of the book like ears pricked listening out for any tidbit of information to do with Priest and Bennett's ship and crew. I also grew to actually really like the Commodore, and I really started rooting for his and Bennett's relationship despite their pretty rocky start. He's like the typical sort of stoic, quiet commander, always has to be in control but has a little bit of a soft spot for Bennett. I really did actually quite like him by the end, and even Priest grew on me as much as a cheater can. That whole thing was really, yeah, that was definitely explained by the end of the book, and there is reason that you sort of forgive Priest. Not forgive, but like you're okay with his actions, if that makes sense. I don't want to justify it whatsoever because it's still a thing, but it's like, if you read or have read this book, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Overall though, because I do unfortunately have to wrap up this video at some point, I really did love this book. The setting was incredible, like 10 out of 10. It was just so immersive, and I would absolutely 100% recommend it to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies while reading this book, because especially the first three, they really went hand in hand while I was reading this, and Oh my god, it was just incredible. And listening to like some of the songs off the Pirate of the Caribbean movie soundtracks while reading, like unmatched. I genuinely felt like I was there. So what did I end up rating at Sea of Ruin? I gave it a 4.5 star and a 4 or 4.5 out of 5 on my spicy scale, because there's quite a bit of smut in this book. I almost, and maybe this is a sign of my frontal lobe developing, I almost wish there was less spice and more like ship life in this book, but anyway, it didn't detract from the story too much. There was a small amount, like a slight undertone of white saviorism happening in Sea of Ruin. It was just a chapter or two where there was a few, like a couple of sentences which describe her and her crew liberating a couple of slave ships. Just like the way those few scenes were written just kind of made me go like, oh. I did scour Goodreads and Instagram for some reviews written by Black creators and from people of colour, and the undertones of white saviorism weren't mentioned at all, I don't think, but I just wanted to put it out there. I picked up on it, and if it's gonna turn you off the book, I just want to let you know about it. Yeah, otherwise I did still quite enjoy my time with this book. If you have any other like historical romance adventure kind of books, definitely comment them down below because I would love to read them. I think that's becoming one of my like new niche sort of genres, which I really enjoy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'm so sorry I've posted it a little bit late. The past week has been hectic. I've been to New Zealand, flew back in like 2 days ago, and it's just been hectic since. But thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed my video. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you did, because I would love to have you here. My Instagram and Goodreads are always linked down in the description if you want to check them out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for like the second, third, maybe fourth time, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!